All right, we're going to go look at Victor Wembanyama cards. Yes, you've heard me talk about him. I think he's transcendent. I think he's going to be one of the greatest players that has ever played the sport of basketball. I think there's potential for him to be the greatest defensive player that the world has ever seen. Okay, so that's a lot of hyperbole for a kid who's 11 years old. No, I'm just kidding. He's 20 years old. Per 36 minutes, he had a better rookie season than Shaquille O'Neal did, all things considered. It's just, he's a player to keep an eye on. He's going to be fun to watch. And God, I would love to collect his cards and go buy his Prizm parallels and autographs, but I can't do it. And I'm going to show you why I can't do it. His cards have been out for a good bit now, just enough time for us to do some data diving. Obviously, not all of his stuff has been pulled. Not all of his stuff has been graded. We're going to look at some of the pricing on his cards, and I'm going to show you exactly why you should sell almost every single Victor Wembanyama card that you own. You should not be buying. You should be selling. There may come a time to buy, but now is not the time. If you guys are looking to buy sports cards, basketball cards, football cards, baseball cards, comic books, memorabilia, do what I do. Use the Fanatics Marketplace. Just make sure you use the affiliate link that's located in this YouTube description at the very top or the QR code that's attached. All right, Victor Wembanyama cards, Victor Wembanyama prices. I've got Card Ladder pulled up. We're going to start with the base of the base, which is the base. Let me get you on screen share. All right, what are we looking at? Well, we're looking at the most boring card in the world, the black curtain card, people like to call it. At least it's got the San Antonio Spurs name across the chest, and it's an actual NBA basketball card. This is his 2023 Prizm base rookie card. Okay, it is a pop, oh my God, 18,000 on its way to, I would assume, probably 40, 50, 60,000. I have no idea. We've seen all the charts that come out by Gem Rate that he's already one of the 10 most graded basketball cards of all time. Is, not just this card, but all of his cards already. And we're not even close to being done with his rookie products. The Gem Rate on the base is a whopping, astonishing, mesmerizing, impossible to comprehend, 62%. There are 18,601 PSA 10s. That card came out, it jumped up, and then it's done nothing since then except go down. Again, this is after Victor Wembanyama had an absolutely incredible Olympics, taking France all the way to the finals, just falling short against the great Team USA in the Olympics. Down 73.84% all time. And again, all time means going back to January. This card's been out since January. So down 73.84%. We are approaching the season, so you would think, well, as you approach the NBA season, we're only about 50 days away, then his cards will start to go up because prospectors will be buying into and hoping for a good performance. The problem with Victor Wembanyama is everything's built in, so if we look at the last 3 months, it's still going down 20%. The card will continue to go down. This is a $118 card last sale. It's only going to get worse, in my personal opinion, because the pop, instead of being 18,000 a year from now, is going to be probably closer to 30,000 if I had to guess. All right, well, let's go one step higher. Let's go, let's check out the 9. Same story, different chapters. Down 75%. It's a $37 card. It costs $20 to grade a card at PSA, approximately, although there's an August special right now. And by the way, stay tuned. There may be some big news to announce regarding the Cajun Cardboard brand and PSA and Card Ladder. So stay tuned for future videos. I might have some good news. Fingers crossed that I've got some good news to share with you guys. What about the last 3 months of the PSA 9? Same exact story, down 22%. All right, let's ratchet it up a notch, right? All right, we're not talking about pop 18,000. We're talking about the pop 3,000 silver PSA 10. There's your card. Better looking card, no question about it. It's really cool because the Spurs are sort of a color match with silver because they're black and silver. So I think it's a good looking card. It's really cool. There are 3,000 of them in PSA 10 out there. If you own 300 of them, you would own 10% of the world's supply. You see how quick I did that math? After a year, which again is going back to February, post-release, post-grading, getting the cards back, 58% down. So a little bit better than the base because the pop is about 1/6, but not much better than the base. What about this silver over the last 3 months? Are people prospecting a little bit more on the silver? So silver may be hitting where it belongs, $1,000. So the first question I'll ask you is, would you rather have 9 PSA 10 bases or one PSA 10 silver, because right now those are the exact same value. I would, if you force me to have one, I guess I would take the silver PSA 10, because I think that's probably the card that I would, at least I could keep it in my collection and say, hey, I've got one of the 3,000 instead of one of the 18, soon to be 35,000, right? What about the PSA 9 silver? There's your PSA 9 silver, a little bit off center. There's 1,000 of those. Not that it matters. All that matters is the PSA. By the way, I wanted to show you the gem rate on the silver. Or you're not going to believe this. 71%. 71% gem rate. Send in 100, get 70 PSA 10s back. That's nuts. PSA 9 pop 1,000 down 64% over the last since February, whatever that is. Again, 7 months, 6, 7 months, something like that. 5, 6, 7 months. That PSA 9 is worth $392. Would you rather have 2.5 PSA 9s or one PSA 10? Give me the PSA 10, I guess. But let's get a little bit more rare. Let's keep working through the Prizm family first. Let's get a little bit more rare. Let's pull up the next one. The next rarer is pink ice, right? There was 3,000 silver 10s. There's only a 1,600 pink ice PSA 10s. Only 1,600. Here we go. Guess what? It's down 65% like every other card over the last, 5, 6, 7 months, whatever we called it. Over the last 3 months, is it making a run? The pink is actually doing better because it's the lowest pop of all the cards that we've looked at, right? So this is the lowest PSA 10 pop. So the pink ice is doing better than the silver, which is doing better than the base over the last 3 months, because if you're going to prospect into a card for Victor Wembanyama, you want to go more rare, although rare is really not the word I would use to describe a pop 1,600 PSA 10 card with a gem rate of, wait for it, 74%. All right, here we go. Let's get out of, wait, did I miss a card? I felt like I missed a card. Nope, I didn't miss a card. All right, let me see, because there's another one in here. What about the red ice? Okay, yeah, the red ice. The red ice over the all-time, down 58%, so even more rare than the pink ice. Probably a better looking card, I think, than the pink ice, me personally. 774. About half the pop of the pink ice, it looks like. Also down 58%. What about over the last 3 months? Down 17%. So we're getting rarer and rarer, or less populated and less populated, and it's still not changing any of the data. What about I think this is one of the first cards that came out. I don't remember. There was a Bowman University, Bowman Inception. I didn't pay attention because none of it was NBA licensed, and I just don't buy any non-NBA licensed stuff, including the brand new Topps Chrome, which I would kill for if it was NBA licensed. I would eat it. I would go fork over money and piss money away to buy Topps Chrome if it was NBA licensed, but it's not, so I will not buy one single pack or one single card of whatever this year is, 2024 NBA Topps, or 23, I don't even know what you call it. Who knows? I get the years confused now because they're coming out so late. This is only a pop 229 PSA 10. What has that done since release? Well, it's also down 54% over the last 3 months. It's actually up. Of course, there's not very many data points. Let's look at a little more data points. This one's up, so it looks like people are buying into Bowman University while they're still selling out of the Prizm stuff, despite the fact that the season's approaching. Now, the only one that I can't really explain is, pay attention with me here, all right? Because this was kind of shocking to me. Victor Wembanyama's Bowman University base PSA 10 is a pop 229, and it's got a gem rate of 30%. There's been around 1,000 graded, a little bit less than 1,000 graded. Okay, so the autograph has a higher pop rate. There are more PSA 10 autographs than there are base. Same product, Bowman University, number 101 base, Bowman University number 101 autograph. There are more, and the gem rate is double. And there's been almost just slightly less of the autographs graded. But this is a monster. It's a $4,400 card, and this one really is not making sense to me. This is a card that I would get out of as soon as humanly possible. I know it's his alleged first autograph, but this 388 will be 1,000 one day. It certainly will be 600, 700, 800 one day. There's no question about that, because there's no way all the Bowman University product has been opened. 62% with CT scanners. Don't even get me started. This card's up 62%, so I can't really explain this thing. Over the last 3 months, it's up 31%. So people are buying into the Bowman stuff for whatever reason. It's not licensed. Maybe that's just a thing now. The new kids don't give a damn about having the Spurs on there. They're fine with the Metro 92s or whatever they're called, and they're buying into the Bowman stuff. But here's what's scary for me, and I'm just going to say this, and you guys can tell me I'm crazy. I think there's going to be 100,000 Victor Wembanyama autograph rookie cards. I know you may think that's crazy. You may think that's just complete hyperbole and reckless, estimation. But I think there's probably 1,000 of these printed. And how many products are there? And how many different stickers is he going to sign? How many different sticker autographs are going to be out there? One thing I haven't done yet. Let me go back here. Let me go to sales history. I want to see what comes up when we type in. This is just what's sold. So this is like. Keep in mind, auto. There's been 3,888 sales of Wembanyama auto. So 4,000 so far. That's just what's been sold. Of course, some of those are duplicate sales. Somebody paid $150,000 for a redemption. Holy moly. I think there's probably going to be 100,000. I really believe that. I think there's 4,000 now. I think most of the people that have Victor Wembanyama autographs have not yet graded them, or they are in the process of grading them. I think more have not been pulled than have been pulled. I think more products are being released and will be signed by Wembanyama. I think, maybe that's a little aggressive. Maybe 100 grand's too aggressive. Let's say 50,000 Victor Wembanyama rookie autograph cards. It's just too much. It's just silly. It's almost impossible to, wrap your brain around how many of those there are. And how many of those are going to be out there. And for that reason, so many of them are going to be sticker autos too, of course. So it's just something to think about. I'm just curious what you guys think. Would you buy into Wembanyama? Have you waited long enough on the Prizm? Is it going to follow the track that the Bowman University did, where it looks like now the Bowman University is actually starting to run up again? Of course, the pop on the Bowman stuff, although very high, is significantly lower than the Prizm stuff that we looked at. And again, there's a million other Prizm parallels, but I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, if you want to say, there's a million other Prizm parallels, that's a bad thing because there's millions of other options to choose from for Prizm. But you could say it's a good thing because some of those are low serial numbered. But if there's millions and millions of parallels that are all low serial numbered, then if you add all of them up, it's still a lot of serial numbers. So it's just a lot to wrap your brain around. I don't get the vibe that Fanatics and or Panini printed less Wembanyamas than they did Paolo Bancheros and Scotty Barnes and Morants and Zions. And we know how many Zions and Morants and Doncic's and all those guys there are out there, and Anthony Edwards. So this is going to be frightening by the time it's all over. Me personally, again, I want to reiterate, this is Victor Wembanyama is a dark horse MVP candidate as age 21. If somehow they can win 41 games, I honest to God believe he will be the primary reason, and he will be a legitimate top 5 MVP candidate. Now, they may win 21 games, I don't know, and the Spurs may shut him down so they can try to get Cooper Flag or whatever. But Victor Wembanyama, the player, I have no doubt, no reservations at all. God willing, the kid stays healthy, and we get to watch something that we've never seen before unfold for the next 15 to 20 years. That would be, in a perfect world, that's what we would get. From a card perspective, I ain't touching him, man. I just can't do it as much as I want to. I want to be along for the ride. I want to collect an active player. I want to be part of it. I want to watch him win titles and win MVPs and win Defensive Player of the Year, which he should have won last year over Rudy Gobert, who stole it. I just can't do it, and it sucks, and I blame Fanatics, and I blame Panini because they printed too many of them. So, and then I blame everybody for buying the boxes at their exorbitant prices, which, most of them are doing that through the breaking, of course, or whatever. But, I just can't get there, man. Every once in a while, because I love you guys that watch the channel so much, I'll rip a box on the channel knowing that I'm literally urinating dollars and cents out, right? It's just a complete and utter waste of money. I don't recall the last time I opened any sealed wax and actually got back more value from the constituent parts of the box than I paid for the box itself. It really does not happen very often. In fact, I did a nice poll on my YouTube channel about maybe 6 months ago, 7, 8, 9 months ago, something like that, of what percentage of the time do you actually get your money back from boxes. And I think the overwhelming majority, the most popular answer was like somewhere around 5 to 10%, which is not good. So if I told you I'd give you more money back if you gave me money, but I'd only give you more money back 10% of the time, you would never give me your money, right? But here we are, we pay for the enjoyment of it, the thrill, and the gambling aspect of it. So I do understand it. I feel that urge every once in a while like everybody else. Let me know what you think about Victor Wembanyama cards. And again, I showed some of the most common cards. I didn't show any of the 101s, the golds, the blacks, and all that. But, you know, those are higher risk, higher reward. You know, more potential damage can be done on cards like that. We saw it happen on other players that are far more accomplished than Victor Wembanyama, who don't need to do anything in the future, right? The bigger cards can fall more. The bigger cards can also go up more, usually is the case. You know, their ceiling is higher, their floor is lower, and so there's more risk on the lower serial numbered stuff with prospects, active players, where anything out there can happen. He could get hit by one of those double-decker buses, you know, in France. Do they have double-decker buses in France, or is that only a London thing or an England thing? I don't know, because I've never been to France. I don't like to fly. Anyway, that's it for the video. I've started to ramble because I'm old and I can't get my thoughts straight, but I do appreciate you guys watching. I just was curious about what's going on with the Victor Wembanyama stuff, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't wrong, and that his cards post-release would certainly nosedive and then find a new floor and then figure out where they go from there. I don't think we've seen the floor. That's just my personal opinion. Well, maybe we'll check back in on this in about 6 months, and when he's, you know, leading the league in shots blocked and he's averaging 24 and 12, and, you know, the Spurs are, you know, 11 and 11 or something like that. Maybe we'll check back in and everybody's excited about the Spurs going to the playoffs. But who knows? I don't know. Tune back in. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button on this video. Every once in a while I talk about ultra modern cards. This is one of those rare occasions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. And peace.